Most men don't fail TRT because of the type of test they use. They fail because their protocol is all over the gaff. The reality is, TRT isn't about taking more. It's all about being precise. Now, if you're on TRT and you're doing any of these 5 things, you are 100% playing Russian roulette with your hormones. And the worst part is, these protocols are absolute bullshit. You've got guys running 300 milligram a week, calling it TRT. Bro, that's not TRT. That's a cycle. You've got guys pinning 1 to 2 times per week, then acting shocked when they feel all over the place. So they change their dose every week because they think their emotions are data. Then they miss jabs and tell themselves, it doesn't matter, don't worry about it. And after all of that, they say, TRT didn't work, when it was their bullshit protocol the entire time. So I'm going to show you the 5 things to stop doing on TRT and what to do instead so you actually feel stable, perform better, and become the man you want to be. I've coached over 1,000 men through this, and I've seen these exact mistakes destroy energy, libido, sleep, and confidence. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to fix. Now, before I give you the 5 mistakes, we need to understand what TRT is. TRT is simple. You're not taking testosterone to feel superhuman. You're taking it to create stability with your hormones. And that stability comes from 3 things: your blood work, your jab frequency, and the consistency of those jabs. If any one of those is off, you're going to have problems. So let's make this simple. TRT is not a decision you make for 4 weeks. It's long term. I'm on it for the rest of my life, and I'm happy with that decision. The goal is to achieve stable levels, which means you need a protocol you can repeat for months and years, not a protocol you change every time you have a bad day. And here's where most of you guys are getting it wrong. You chase your symptoms rather than controlling all the variables. You change the dose, you change the jab frequency, you start to add in random supplements, you panic about your estrogen levels, you start missing injections, then you wonder why you feel all over the gaff. When you do this on a weekly basis, you're fucked. That's not TRT failing or it being a waste of time. That's you running a protocol with 0 structure. Mistake number 1, running TRT without blood work. Running TRT without blood work is not optimizing anything. You are playing Russian roulette. If you do not measure your blood work, your total T, your free T, your sexual hormone binding globulin, your estrogen, your LH, and your FSH, you can't measure shit. You can only guess. And this is the problem. The most common situation that I see with every single lad is that they don't actually know whether they have low testosterone or not, because symptoms can lie. The goal with blood work isn't just to find out what your testosterone levels are. It's to find out your hematocrit, your red blood cell, your key health markers, and keeping them in range long term. And I'm talking about genuinely in range, not the doctor's version of in range. Now, the only way that you're going to understand this is when you have a baseline. My advice to you right now is, if you haven't had your blood work done for a number of months, book the test, because a baseline is what you start from. You need to understand your total T, your free T, your FH, your LSH, your E2, your sexual hormone binding globulin. All of these hormonal baselines are crucial to how you operate as an individual. Then we can get a far bigger picture every 6 months where we get 256 biomarkers. And that'll be your liver, your kidney, your lipids, your red blood cell count, your white blood cell count, everything. When you take the blood work also matters. So if you are thinking about taking testosterone and taking TRT, but you haven't put it in your system yet, get the blood work done so you actually realize what your genuine levels are. There's no good trying TRT for 2 weeks and then getting your blood work done. That's not going to help you, because that is already going to be 2 weeks worth of testosterone that is in your system that is going to show up in a blood result, right? But the reality is people who avoid blood work usually don't want the truth. They just want reassurance. Oh, everything will be fine. And that's the fastest way to your body failing over a long period of time. Now, here's what I want you to do instead. So you need to get your baseline bloods before you start, and then you're going to recheck them in 6 to 8 weeks time. So you are going to get your levels. Let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say your levels come back and they're 5 nanomoles per liter, low, yeah? And your free T is 0.2 nanomoles a liter. You're going to then start implementing TRT. And then after that stable protocol, after that stable jab frequency and consistency per week, you're going to retest in 6 weeks time. And then you're going to see if you need any tweaks. Let's say your testosterone's gone from 5 nanomoles per liter to 25 nanomoles per liter on 100 milligrams of testosterone. I wouldn't make any adjustments. The only slight adjustment I would make is maybe increase the dosaging by 10%. So go to 110 or 120 milligrams per week. Then you get another test in 6 weeks time. So within 12 weeks, you get 3 tests: baseline, 6-week marker, 12-week marker. Now, this is what I do with all my guys. By the end of that 12 weeks, you will know exactly how much testosterone you need to be taking for your TRT. Some people need 80, some people need 100, some people need 125, some people need 150. But the reality is you do not know what that number is until you get your blood work done. And then after 6 months, we can get that bigger baseline check where we track your blood pressure, track your kidney, your liver, your lipids, all of the information that you need to understand regarding your body and the blood work to do so. Now, if you're not doing blood work, you don't have a protocol. You've got a habit of jabbing yourself a couple times a week, and that's the reality. Calling it TRT when it's basically a cycle. You would not believe how many lads come to me and say, yeah, I'm on TRT, bro. How much you take in a week, bro? 250 milligrams a week. That is not TRT. That is 100% super physiological levels. That is you telling yourself you're on TRT because the only thing that you're injecting in yourself is TRT. That's a fucking problem. TRT is replacement. Testosterone replacement therapy. Anything more than 200 milligrams per week will be super physiological levels. Now, if you, going back to mistake number 1, if you're taking 250 milligrams per week and you're not getting your blood work done, you're double fucking yourself in the ass.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
You need to understand that the goal is normal physiological range, not can I get as high as possible. So if you're running 250 to 300 milligrams per week and calling it TRT, you're just cycling and convincing yourself that you're on TRT and attributing your progress to the higher doses. More testosterone doesn't automatically mean better outcomes. I've experienced this myself. So I have tried taking 75 milligrams per week, 100 milligrams per week, 125, 150, 175. Do you know what I found when I was starting to go above 125 milligrams per week? I would just get more side effects. I'd get puffier nipples. I start worrying about certain things, dipping into that female mentality. And I'm just thinking to myself, why the fuck am I feeling like this? Well, it's because I am taking too much testosterone. It's over aromatizing. So when you take too much testosterone, it aromatizes. Any of the testosterone that is above the amount that your body needs, it starts to aromatize. It turns then into estrogen. And then that has side effects. Your mood swings, your puffy nipples, you thinking like a female and thinking you're on your fucking period. Not good. Most guys who need high doses are chasing a feeling of being superhuman, of needing 5 wanks a week, not stability. Now, the bigger the dose, the more you'll be forced into additional management. More blood checks, checking your blood pressure, checking your lipids, checking if you've got acne, the mood swings, water retention. The list goes on and on. On top of that, what happens is this. People will increase their dose to 300 milligrams per week, then take an AI so that they can actually keep taking it. That is the worst approach ever. You're basically cutting yourself and then putting a plaster over it. Cutting yourself, putting a plaster over it. You wouldn't need the plaster if you didn't cut yourself in the first place, would you? So stop cutting yourself. Simple as that. Here's what you need to do instead. You need to sit down, you need to pick a goal. Stable health and performance or bodybuilding enhancement. Simple as that. Once you stop pretending that they're the same, then you're actually going to understand what TRT is and what TRT isn't. Now, if you want to go ahead and build muscle, go ahead and build muscle. Take your 250 milligrams of testosterone, but don't call it TRT because you're lying to yourself. Another thing that you need to do is keep the protocol boring and repeatable. Same jabs, same amount per jab, same amount of frequency for weeks on end. Then if you have symptoms, have your blood work and then cross-reference your symptoms with the blood work. Now, if you don't know how to analyze your blood work, send it to me. It's as simple as that. I will put a link in the description down below where you can specifically message me on WhatsApp and send me your blood work. That's it. You're welcome. The way that you're gonna find out what TRT is for you is symptom tracking and finding the lowest effective dose, okay? So for me, I take 100 milligram a week. That's all I need, and that's all I've needed for the past 6 months. I've gone through that process of trial and error, 105, 110, 125, 150. And that's what I need for me, 240 pounds. I've not quite got abs, but the reality is we're getting there. TRT isn't the most you can tolerate. And like I said, that's a cycle. So please understand that TRT is replacement, not superphysiological doses. Mistake number 3, changing your dose every week. What do you expect to happen when you change your dose every week? Let's say you're taking testosterone cypionate. That takes 14 days to fully complete its cycle. If we're talking taking half-life into consideration, we're looking at 21 days, 28 days before that full cycle of peak testosterone is in your system. So let's do some quick maths, okay? Let's say you're taking 100 milligrams per week. So for that 100 milligrams per week to fully synthesize, we're looking at 2 weeks. So there will not be 100 milligrams of testosterone in your system until at least week 2. So you have to understand that changing your dose every week, you have to wait minimum 2 weeks before you can actually see the results or feel the symptoms of your jab cycle and of your jab frequency and of your total dose. Because the reality is constant dose changes means you will never be in a window where your hormones have plateaued. Because that's what we need. We need a steady increase and then a plateau. What you're doing is when you are taking your dosage and changing every week, your body's going like this, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. What we're trying to create is this, up, across. Simple. None of this adjustments. It's very, very simple, people. Your weekly mood shifts aren't the reason why you should change dose. That's just normal life. That's just stress. And the more often you adjust, the more anxious, the more obsessive you become with your symptoms. So here's what you need to do instead. Change one variable at a time and only after a consistent window of 4 weeks. Now, if you want to be extra cautious, give any change at least 6 weeks before judging it. Going back to the blood work scenario. Unless it's a serious side effect. Now, if you have any serious side effects, again, click the link in the description and let's have a conversation about it. What you need to do is track your weekly averages, not your daily feelings. So rather than going day to day, you're going to look at it from week to week. Have I missed any jabs? Have I taken the same amount every jab? Have I taken it at the same time every day? And I'm not asking you to be perfect, but please stop using TikTok and Instagram advice as genuine medical standard feedback. It's fucking waste of time. If you change your dose every time you feel a bit off, you're not dialing in. You're simply panicking and reacting. Mistake number 4. Only pinning 1 to 2 times per week. This is genuinely one of the most highly debated things. How many jabs do you take a week? Because some guys, I'm not even joking. Some guys can genuinely get away with it. But 95% of guys that I speak to have huge side effects because they're taking one lot of 150 milligrams or taking one lot of 100 milligrams and going, oh, I'm feeling this and feeling that. My estrogen's all over the place. I'm thinking like a woman. Yeah, because you're not having any stable inputs. For me, like I said, every jab is the same. Every jab is the same quantity. And then I just duplicate the frequency based on my overall dosage. So I look at my overall dosage and I say, right, how do I reverse engineer this? How do I make everything as similar as possible so that there is no interchanging of one day do this, one day do that, because I will forget. You have to lower the barrier of entry. So if you're somebody who jabs 1 to 2 times per week, I want you to do this instead. If you feel unstable, just trial higher frequency. So split the same weekly dose into smaller compartments. So if you're taking 100 milligrams per week and you're doing 2 times by 50 milligrams, then please do 4 times by 25 milligrams. And if you want to go a step further, you can do 5 times by 20 milligrams. If you're doing 200 milligram per mil testosterone cypionate and you want to take 100 milligrams of testosterone per week, I would advise you do 20 milligrams times by 5. Why? Because 20 milligrams is 0.1 mil. It's very simple. 0.1 mil, 5 times a week. And the way that you do that is you take all of your weekly dosage and put it into one syringe. And if you don't know how to do that, I have a video up here somewhere and you can watch it, and I go through my entire jab frequency setup. I go through my entire jab protocol and extraction protocol and syringe protocol so that you don't have to worry about it. Another big thing is keeping it simple. Pick a schedule that you can repeat genuinely forever. Because I'm telling you now, consistency will always be the perfect protocol, because if you can't stick to it, then it's no good to you. If you're pinning twice a week and feel like your emotions are like a roller coaster, it's not bad TRT. It's you fucking up with your scheduling. Now, thank you for reaching this far in the video so far. Before I go into the 5th and final mistake, if you are enjoying this content, please drop me a like and subscribe, because I am a man on a mission to provide a no bullshit approach to all of this nonsense that you see online these days. Mistake number 5, missing jabs and pretending it doesn't matter. What do you think is going to happen? We've already mentioned that TRT will only work if it's consistent. Your hormones do not give a shit about your emotions. Your hormones are a chemical reaction to what is in your body, okay? So missing jabs creates unnecessary fluctuations. Then you guys will blame estrogen or the dose or the compound, when the reality is you missing jabs is the reason why you are feeling how you are feeling. Inconsistency causes the exact symptoms men complain TRT has given them. And the reality is, most men don't need a new protocol. They just need to stick to the one that they have. Have a high standard. So this is what you're gonna do instead. Treat your jabs like you are brushing your teeth. How many times have you left your house after not brushing your teeth going, fuck, I'm skanky. Oh, never doing that again. Same level of mentality. And I'll tell you this now, I create the exact same routine for myself every single day, regardless of what I've got on that day, because I need that consistency. Every day I jab. I am somebody who's done this every other day, 5 times a week, because the reality is what happens is I don't remember when I'm supposed to not take it. So if I'm doing every other day, I'm getting to a jab day and I'm like, did I jab before? Did I do yesterday? And it's just a barrier of entry that I don't need to have. So if you are somebody who doesn't want to jab every day, you have to set reminders in your calendar. You have to set alarms. You have to have a system so that you ensure you never miss. Because I'm telling you now, for the last time, TRT is not your problem. It is your consistency, it's your application. Because if you miss, you don't need to overreact and change everything. You just need to get back to baseline. You need to go, right, I am gonna jab at 9 a.m., I'm gonna jab at 7 a.m., I'm gonna jab here, 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 here. And if you are struggling with that, I have created a TRT manual in the link in the description down below. I'm gonna be honest with you though, you can't be inconsistent and demand consistent results. It's really important that you remember that. When you are inconsistent, but say you deserve stability, that doesn't make any sense, so sort it out. I just wanna thank you for making it this far. So I'm gonna give you the full truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. TRT isn't complicated, but most men make it complicated because they don't have rules. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Stop chasing symptoms and start controlling variables. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments. What injection frequency are you on at the moment and why? Where do you personally draw the line between TRT and a cycle? And do you think you can dial in TRT without blood work? Yes or no? Now, today is your lucky day. If you want my full TRT structure laid out in one place with everything that I've discussed here in today's video, I've put it into my TRT manual. It will tell you exactly what to do, what to stop doing, and what to track so you can actually start feeling stable. It's in the description. Download it, use it, and then come back to me and tell me what you're changing first. I've been your boy, Stephen Physique. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.